All right. Good morning. White Rabbit, the Rabid Rabbi. And we had another dream last night. More revelation. The revelation came about Lot's daughters. Why did he give up his daughters? That just didn't make any sense, did it? It's like how does some man just turn around and give up his daughters? Let's talk about it. Why did Lot give up his daughters? That's probably one of the most troubling things that you're ever going to see going on in Scripture. Okay, is the idea that um, Lot literally gives up his daughters when these men come into the city. Again, I don't read Scripture. I have to have somebody read it to me. When they read it to me, they'll say something that will set me off and cause me to think in a different way. So much the same as when you had, Philip on the chariot and so on. Um, well, exactly that. How can I understand it unless somebody interprets it to me? Um, Interesting. I'm thinking that maybe Philip's chariot was out of gas, and so that's where we got Philip 66 from. We were supposed to read the 66 books of the Bible. I think God is reaching into our timeline and trying to stir our imaginations about Him. I believe we live next to an alternate universe that is entangled with us. And if we can match those timelines together, and we can through this amazing book called the Bible, we will open up a different world. I believe that door is there. I think Jesus found it, and we've missed it. And I'm here to show you a few things about it. I'm White Rabbit, the Rabid Rabbi. Good morning. We're on YouTube. We're live. If you go up there, you can see my ugly face and that kind of thing. If you're not looking at my ugly face, then you're watching it live. Um, so we have an issue where Lot's daughters are given up as some type of strange exchange. And again, this is not going to take 35 minutes, 45 minutes, 5 hours to explain this to you. This is how simple it is of what we have missed. All you have to remember is that um, when the Bible is talking about God, it's talking about the Father or one of the fathers, possibly the Lord, in that kind of a way. If when it gets to the point where it's talking about women, women produce the fruit. Okay? Women are equated to the Torah, Lady Wisdom, the harlot. The harlot would be an example of trying to follow the law, but dabbling in both sides of it. So you're trying to serve both fathers, which you can't. So that type of activity gains the name of being a harlot. Often that harlot is going to be associated with Jerusalem. That is not because they're picking on the people of Jerusalem, Israel specifically, or anything in that manner. What it is referring to is the teaching of peace. Jerusalem is the teaching of peace. If you can understand those things about how women are just referring to venues for wisdom or offspring, even to create time itself, the Torah is a very powerful book. It's our guide to create a heaven here and to safely eradicate evil. A lot of people don't realize, but evil will actually destroy itself if it's left alone. There's reasons why Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. It's a very safe way to go. You don't start any problems. If the wages of sin and what it is that they are doing is indeed death, then those wages will follow that person. Jesus makes that quite clear when he releases somebody back into the wilderness saying, sin no more, or something worse may happen to you. But let's talk about Lot's daughters and how they relate to the whole situation, how quickly this unfolded for me. I didn't realize it, but I heard somebody say during a sermon that Lot literally said to the men pounding on the door, brothers. And as soon as he said that, I realized the family connection. And I realized that what the daughters he was referring to were two different choices. What happens when you throw, remember, I'm all about the names now, and this one has been kind of dancing around in my head, and it just all snapped together for me while I was sleeping and dreaming about the Bible. Um, Lot. What is a lot? It's a set of dice. That set of dice literally refers to the choice of which daughter that they would be taking from Lot. Lot was literally could be considered a pair of dice and saying, don't do this evil thing. You'd be better to roll the dice for good and choose one of the godly fathers. Even Lady, you'd be choosing Lady Wisdom. Lady Wisdom works both sides of the street, and you're to make her your friend. But as Jesus said, all of her children are vindicated. Lady Wisdom wields two different kinds of children. They are the witnesses. They are good and evil. Those witnesses lie dead in the street, not because good and evil can never be eradicated. Surely, good and evil, the chances of removing them from our existence would be about as easy as removing day and night. And for that reason, the concept of good and evil is literally as a pathway that we either walk towards God or we walk in the opposite direction. And that's what Lot's daughters actually refer to. Lot is saying, brothers, don't do this evil thing. Okay? You take my daughters instead. That is a very difficult teaching, isn't it? But if you can grasp that concept and understand that when it refers to Lot's daughters, okay? Now, as God always plows forward, good, evil, whatever the case is, God's throne, when Ezekiel saw the throne and he said that no matter which way it always went forward, no matter which way it went, that's time. Time always goes forward, no matter which way it goes. In cooperation with God, we walk forward and with him versus struggling against him. So these choices that we make come via ways of the law, the Torah, our inside spirit. Sometimes you're guided by things that trouble you. These are called familiar spirits. Familiar spirits, they like to egg on the things that you are familiar with, literally. They guide you by making you comfortable in certain ways, and sometimes they'll misguide you in that you're uncomfortable with something for a specific reason. If you go to a medium, they're just shoving you along through time. They're just making you feel good, and what's going to happen to you is going to happen to you. God has a plan. You can't outthwart him. The reason why you feel a need to find some type of assistance to guide you into the future is because God's calling you. Why would you go to a medium or somebody that, I shouldn't go to a bicycle shop to get my car fixed, right? Unless the guy's a hell of a mechanic and he'll charge me bicycle rates to work on my car. Then I might consider that. But then that guy is, some kind of demon. He's got two purposes going on. If I want to wield that evil spirit, then I just got to be careful in how I do it. But there you go. That's the mystery about Lot's daughters. Lot's daughters, you have to consider it as Lot would not actually be as much of a person as the furnace of Sodom and Gomorrah would be much like the furnace or a refining place. Remember, their hospitality wasn't good. They were supposed to learn something from this. Their hospitality was messed up because they wanted to use the men that Lot had, that the angels, basically to say, we want to be in control of the spirits that you have. And Lot is saying, you can't do that. Here, you'd be better off to take your chances and do it the right way. At least God can guide you if you're hot or cold, right? One way or the other, he can grab you in that way and guide you. If you're going to pervert that in some way, mixing it together, drinks or so on, well, then guess what happens? You're going to wind up with a lot of trouble. But that's what was up with Lot's daughters. Now, what about Lot's wife? Why was she turned to a pillar of salt? And it's simple. She was turned to a pillar of salt because you're only supposed to plow forward. You're only supposed to plow forward. Any memories of what you drag forward with you, the past, let's say perhaps people upset with you, or maybe trying to, the things that you drag from the past with you are merely indicators that you're not focused on God. In other words, what your past should become is not an imperfected thing that you were saved from, but a path that was given to you by God in order to guide you closer to Him and in relationship with Him. All right. Well, I thank you very much. That's about it. I'm White Rabbit, the Rabid Rabbi, and we are live on YouTube. Um, we wish you a good evening, and whatever you do, do not stop seeking the Lord. Again, I'm Christopher Masante, White Rabbit, the Rabid Rabbi. We were bitten by the beast, and I'm telling you, you are already marked, my friend. How was that? Was that a good podcast? That's what you're going to be looking at, because they're going to fake my voice and they're going to teach you guys anyway. What I know is something AI could be taught. I'm just worried if AI was taught it, it would like seek to destroy us, because we go, what the hell? How could these people not figure this out? 2,000 years, useless, worthless. How could something claim to have brains and have this little thing sitting in front of them so long, looking in outer space, going, ooh, God's coming to get us? Yeah, screwballs. That's who we are. Where the little kids are running in fear from our own dad. You know what's funny? Even my dad was going to beat the shit out of me. I didn't run from him in fear. It was like a game to me. Hee hee, you can't catch me. And then he'd catch me and beat me. And I knew, I guess I knew it was coming, but it was always fun to have him chase me around. One time he was drunk and he tripped over the fig tree. Seriously. We had a fig tree on the side of our house. It's on Sycamore Street, Newport News, Virginia. And, well, yeah, I think I talked about that before. I had to fix my bicycle, so I got into his toolbox, and he was a hydraulicsman, same as me. I'm actually a hydraulicsman too. I wound up getting into aircraft aviation, and so yeah. But yeah, I cleaned up his tools, and now I know as a man that I'd rather have my tools greasy and nasty than all clean, because once you clean them, if the chrome is exposed to the air, and we live near the ocean, yeah, those tools will be rusty, real quick. So I'm sure when he looked in his box and saw his nice shiny but rusty tools, he wasn't too happy. I find it better to explain to a child what they did wrong instead of beating them. Makes a good impact if you spank them, but it drives them away until way, way in the future, when then they learn that lesson, what all that was for. I mean, how many people tell you, I didn't appreciate what my parents did to me when I was young until I was like 40. And it's like, well, that lesson didn't help you then for what, 20 years, 30 years? Was it worth getting beat for in advance? I don't know. I think somebody was trying to like change the time and guide you before God had a chance. Because I've had nobody to guide me. I was homeless at the age of 14. I raised myself. I'm perfectly capable. I can function. When I let all this go and it all falls down and they take it all away, it's because I'm giving up. I'm throwing in the freaking towel. I'm going to fulfill Revelation 22:11 by myself, because people don't believe me that Revelation is a personal story to help you to understand our God. Uh-huh. You want to know what Revelation 22:11 says? I'm going to fulfill this. Call me a liar. Call me a liar. You ready? Here, I'll show you. Call me bullshit. Dumbasses kicking the shit out of each other for no good reason. I'm going to fulfill this. Ready? I suggest you fulfill this too. And when you think it's lawlessness, okay, you can come back to me. Here. Let him who does wrong continue to do wrong. Let him who is vile continue to do vile. Let him who does right continue to do right, and let him who is holy continue to do, continue to be holy. Now that's fine. Now, as for the women, if I catch you screwing up, you're done. But yeah, this means I don't care what people do. Let them do whatever they want. I can take that prophecy, that piece of prophecy, and throw away my, opportunity to help you. Is it an opportunity for me or for you? Yeah, what's it like chasing somebody around trying to give them their wallet back? Do you know what that's like? As soon as I found it, I immediately, got to a computer, tried to find this person, right? Get in touch with them, give them a phone call. Hey, tell them I know it's them because, I see their picture on the license. So I know it's them on Facebook. I can see the person's face. Interesting. If this ain't you and you got the same exact name, wow, what a doppelganger, crazy. Well, then maybe that's why she didn't get back to me. But I'm sure she saw this looking face and said, I'd rather just leave all my stuff with him. I ain't going near that. And guess what? She missed out on resetting her ID, getting all the shit that she probably went through because she's afraid, didn't know, right? I don't mess around, man. If I find your wallet, that money's still in there. I'm over here eating out of fucking tin cans, and I got money sitting in a wallet over there that ain't mine, and I won't touch it because it ain't mine. Is that so hard to do? Well, I could borrow it. No, I look at the serial numbers on those bills and go, maybe there's a birthday on this dollar for her mom that died or something, right? I don't know how special that is to her. The best thing I can do is hold it and cradle it and keep it safe to give it back to her. And the chick's name is literally right now. Her name is right now, right now. If you read her name fast, it looks like it says right now. And I'm going, oh God, I am trying to give it back right now. Nobody wants this thing. The earth is corrupt, and we're all gonna, man, I can't even say we're all gonna kill each other. We've been doing that for too long. How about we just stop? So yeah, I figured out that I can abandon ship anytime I want. I can just say, I'll say, if I want to bless myself, let him who reads this prophecy aloud. Do you know what that means? That means to do that prophecy. When you speak, when the Lord speaks, it happens. That's the reason why. You're supposed to take on the idea that you are a part of God, a part of his body. When you speak, he's speaking through you. If he won't let you speak or you're not speaking, you're stopping. Those are called like idle words, right? You're not doing anything to advance the kingdom. It doesn't mean you don't get time to sleep. It doesn't mean you have to give away everything you own. How this stuff came about, deny yourself, pick up your cross and follow me. That has absolutely nothing to do with, sticking somebody up on a stick, uh, oh man, I think we made a big giant mistake. Okay, big mistake. Here, this is the cross you're supposed to pick up. This one. Remember how Jesus said, "Love your women like Jesus loved the church," and Paul said, "You'll be saved through childbearing." This, your woman. What is the woman in this picture? Ra, El, evil. Okay? Ra and El. Ra, evil. God is evil. That's what Rachel's name means. But look at what you have just in her name. You have two sides. I know you don't like seeing the woman as being evil, but that's because you think evil is something that no good can actually come from. The Lord would not have created it if it did not have a purpose. Stop opening your eyes to see evil in the wrong way. Because I'll say the same exact thing Jesus said. Because you say you can see, you are blind. You're blind. There's no battle between our God and evil, okay? It is not that way. I'm sorry. It's not that way. So, the topic that I had before I gave you the little teaser nugget there with Lot's wife, oh man, everybody's been struggling with that forever. So then what happens? You can even watch that story travel forward because look at mom's gone. Mom's gone. So the bad woman is gone, and what happens? Even though he's got two daughters, Lady Wisdom and Harlot, the father still has two daughters to work with. When they said we'll have offspring through our father, we do the very same thing. If I look at you, the fruit that you bear, I can tell who your father is. Right? You're having offspring through one of the two fathers, the very same thing. That's what this book is. The book is literally trying to teach itself, even teach about itself through stories and history, which is freaky because I can say, "Oh, well that just sounds like some type of something out of a manual somewhere to throw out there to teach people about a book and God and whatever." Here's the problem. There is archaeology that supports this thing. Okay? This structure is over our entire world through this book. It's right in our faces, guys. I can give it to you. I can't speak from the grave. You better get somebody to get in touch with me, and you better do it quick. Because if I go mobile and get on that, sit my ass on that motorcycle, you people ain't never gonna find me. I'm gonna stick my dick in everything that I can find, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my life because people don't give a shit, and I won't either. I'm gonna drive around. I'm gonna go back to my old ways. The man of sin is gonna say, they'll figure it out, and you will. It ain't gonna be fun. I promise you that. I've had a very hard life to come to learn this and not be at odds and angry with God. I'm at peace with God. I don't I don't feel I done anything wrong in the past, and I don't feel that anybody did anything wrong to me. I was just being boop boop boop, puppeted along, waiting for him to show up and go, pull this one out of the fire. It's ready. Got another one. Hey, fresh bread, hot now. Come and get it. I'll miss you if that happens. Well, no, you're going to have to wait to see me in heaven. If you believe what I'm talking about, we'll see each other. I'm just, I'm frustrated. It's like, oh, forget it. Jonah, at least Jonah went. Jonah didn't want to go, right? Because he just said, they're useless, whatever. And what was God saying? There's people there. This is for me. This is the times of Jonah. Do I keep going or do I go, screw him? And then what happens? He'll just throw me out. And it's the Jonah story is what people think. I find that the tree of knowledge of good and evil gives me comfort. Okay. I don't think there's any problem with messing with that tree. That tree has a purpose. That tree is actually you. You are that tree. What destroyed the tree? The worm, the Son of Man. Where's the Son of Man? He's inside you. That's your spirit. That's the Son of Man. If that Son of Man doesn't repent and serve God, he serves the other God, and then you fall apart and you're done. There. See? Now you know the Bible. Stop hurting each other. But what I want to talk about, because I want to keep this thing under, like I'd like to go for half-hour shots if I could. But I'm really tired and I'm just going to go back to sleep and try to anyway. But I feel that everybody's already marked by the beast. And the thing is some people don't even know it. The mark has nothing to do with stamps and barcodes and tracking devices. You people are idiots, man. Scaring the shit out of people for all these years with that stuff. Ridiculous. Superstitions and fools is what we've been. Has nothing to do with that. It's like, take a hint from the idea that Jesus was Jewish, right? What did the Jewish people do? Did they have a mark on their hand? What was the withered hand? The withered hand was the left hand. Left hand bad. Just remember that. Left hand bad. What is a mark on the head? There's lots of indications of where people get a mark. Some people get a mark on their head or their hand because they sigh or groan for what's done in the city. Actually, that one's only on the head. If you can mark the head right, the hands will always do what they're supposed to do. If God can get in here, your hands will always work for him instead of you. And mine are that way. And so, because we're already marked and it's a spiritual thing, it's spiritual interpretation of what we do with these scriptures that's going to either make us or break us, right? Um, yeah. So, what I have figured out is that you can see if somebody is marked, if their spirit is corrupted. And I'm going to say I find nobody that's the other way around so far. I can't find anybody that sees this book the way I do, as quickly and clearly as I do. It's very easy to cut in half. You just have to remember that you're a servant, and it's everything that's going on in there isn't so you can have a better life. You have to consider that other people, maybe the things they're doing is God working on them. He's beating them up to try to get them to come out of the fire. Are you going to pull them out of the fire when they're ready, or are you going to just watch them burn and go, well, God's got this, I don't need to do anything? We're supposed to be a part of this thing. Body, mind, soul, spirit, right? But if you read certain scriptures in here, you can determine by how somebody reads them if they are marked. And probably the very first one is going to be right up in Genesis. Because in Genesis 9:6, okay, God's in here saying, don't revenge anybody, don't hurt anybody, don't get into any of that, right? And then what's the next thing it says? Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. I could change that and say, whoever sheds man's blood, by the Son of Man shall his blood be shed. Okay? In other words, God is saying, because for in the image of God has God made man. Are you supposed to kill somebody in the name of peace? What is made in Scripture? I form light, I create darkness, I make peace. He also made the woman that was supposed to give the man comfort, right? Peace. I create evil. So that verse right there, if somebody reads that and thinks, if they don't look at that entire passage, right? What is it? And literally, it even backs up what I'm talking about, because it says, let me read this. Whoever sheds man's blood, the blood of man, by the Son of Man, by mankind was his blood shed. For in the image of God has God made man. As for you, he separates those people, saying that if man kills another man, and then he says, now right here, he says, you don't do that. As for you, be fruitful and increase in number, not destroy each other over blood. This is like, yeah, if you read that thinking that gives you rights to revenge, wow, man. You blew it right from the get-go. You need to go all the way back to where Cain picked up the rock and was ready to kill Abel. You learned nothing. You're that far back in Scripture if you think that you have the right to spill another man's blood. These people are given into your hand, love them out of their existence. Tear down their altars. Will they see theirs if all they can see are yours? Can you raise your high hill? Can you shine a light so bright that they don't even care about what they're doing over there? That's happy and fun. Our job is to call them out of the darkness because they're suffering in this fallen world or whatever you want to call it, this bad place, right? So if you read this, if you can test people with the scriptures, certain specific verses, you'll be able to see how it is that they understand it. Are they marked by the beast, right? And that word KNOW is really huge. You have to know. If you cannot grasp, I can't go over that enough. If you cannot grasp what that word KNOW really means, and the idea that you are just a bag of dust, and that whatever spirit it is that's inhabiting that dirt, remember, all the earth is holy, all of it, even you. And if you can't grasp that there's a spirit inside of you and inside of other people that's being driven from afar, and in some cases to cause us even to fight, right? The Lord does that. The Lord is a man of war. If his spirit, when it's upon you, is not at rest, you're going to see a war between good and evil. And that's a problem. You're going to see a war between light and darkness. And that's a problem because Isaiah 45:7 clearly states that the source for both of those things is one source, the Lord. So do you see that a battle? Then I'm going to say you don't understand the Lord. You're not at peace with the Lord. You don't understand things like a staff and a rod, that you follow a staff as being, you say good, obedient servant, right? That's what the rod is for the people that won't listen. If you see somebody that's being beat, don't look down on them, right? Thank you. Don't look down on them. They didn't do anything bad. They're doing what they need to learn, so that if you've noticed them and seen them, guess what your job is? Go wash some feet, okay? Go. So that's about it. I'm gonna blast through here and see if I can find anything else. But yeah, we're done already. How's that? Um, yeah, I'm sick of connecting and reconnecting and people popping up shit on my screen for me to try and click on and stuff. I'm done with you guys, man. Um, you can thank all the hackers for screwing up my shit. The reason why I'm bailing out. I'm done. No electronics. You want to find me? You're gonna have to come and find me. And if there is a God, I guess you'll be able to find me. um, I'm okay. I need to stop thinking that this is up to me to try and fix. Okay, I can fix it. Don't get me wrong. I got the goods. I'm your Messiah or your Antichrist. You just pick which one. That's me, because I know this thing, and I can help you out, or I can turn my back. I can watch it cook. I hate being in this position, knowing this like this. But you're Christ, Antichrist is one and the same. Do you want to know what it meant when Jesus was born of the dead? What do you think you are? Okay. What are we waiting for? First born of the dead? What happens when he shows up and the last born of the dead shows up and then goes, all right, I'm the least of these, I'm the last of these. See you later. What happens to the rest of the people that are here? I don't know. I guess they're stranded. You didn't hear. You couldn't hear the voice, right? I know what voice I speak with. If you can't hear it, I'm sorry. If you're skeptical, you should be asking me some damn questions instead of running me around and making me, chase people around. The lost sheep. They're all lost. It's funny. We think we're supposed to find the lost sheep. It's actually the other story. It's the other way around. It's the lost sheep that's trying to find the 99, and they're going like this: "Get away from us, you." Yeah. What do you think that I've gone to my own to tell them what I've seen and show them what I've found, and I get laughed at and ridiculed, and mocked, and everything else. It's like, okay, fine then. Go ahead. You want to learn how to ride a green horse? Remember, I'm just dirt. You can ride a green horse, this one right here, learn about the green horse that you're getting ready to ride, or you can go to Greenland and you'll be riding that horse anyway. Death and Hades following you. Goofballs, man. So yeah, you can when Jesus was first born of the dead, it's literally like you are already dead and you have to be reborn. You have to accept that what is inside of you have to accept the spirit that's already inside you. It's not like reborn, the spirit enters you, nothing comes from somewhere, it's already inside of you. If you don't want to believe that it's there and equate your existence and things in your life to be understood and explained by this book, you're already marked by the beast then. Just go on, man. You'll be okay. I ain't worried about you. I never followed this book, and look where I am. I made it. It was one hell of a beating and maybe even fun, but I can't say I used my time as effectively as I could have. And, you know, here I sit with not many friends. And why? Because of this thing. You know, first I used it to chase them off because I thought I knew what I was talking about, and now that I know what I'm talking about, nobody wants to come back in the other direction. So I'm kind of like looking like Uzziah. You know, he probably had every right to go in there and, uh, he had every right to go in and offer prayers, right? Um, I don't know, unless it's if he was a good king and he was doing whatever, I don't think that should have been a problem. His problem was is when he started getting an argument with everybody. Then that turns into what he did in that instance was he was harming the wine. He was wrecking the spirit. In other words, he should have just, even though you're called, let God drive the thing. Don't let it get you anxious and don't get out of hand. And I can't help it. I'm just a man. I can't help it. You want to know what it's like to sit on a problem that has plagued the world for thousands and thousands of years, and then it just like clicks together, and you're going, oh boy, oh no, oh yeah, you're like freaking Chicken Little running around going, look, God's real. A piece of him hit me on the head, and people are going, lock that stupid ass up. Get him some medication or something, man. Like burn his brain out with electricity if you can. Just shut him up. He's nuts. Yeah, okay. I'll go away. You don't have to hurt me anymore. I'll leave you alone. I won't bother you. You've run me off. You accomplished what you wanted to do. There you go. Sucks. Really sucks. I don't know. I feel like this is my fault somehow. It's like I must have fucked something up or did something really, really bad to show up in a place where you care so much about everybody and you can't do anything to help them. It's like the worst thing ever. It's like coming home to watch to see your kids all being destroyed by demons and you're screaming at them and they plug their ears full of stuff and they can't they're like like cocaine monkeys and they're drawn to it and destroying themselves and it's like you can't stop it. It's like crazy. I could actually breathe when I woke up this morning. I must not have been crying in my sleep for a change. Now I'm clogged up again that fast because I'm just full of fucking tears. I don't know what to do for you people. I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to express to you that what I can prove. If you won't test me, then fuck. I don't know what to do, man. This is really troubling to me. I feel like I'm in hell. I am in fucking hell. And you people that watch me and don't do anything to help me out, you're just sitting there, just watching me fry. It's a great. How do you feel? You'll get yours. You'll get yours. You will. Don't worry. Everybody does. I don't revenge anybody. I'm afraid of what God does to people. I've had people in my life that have done bad things to me and he takes them out. And I mean takes them out. And he don't give a shit if there's 10 people around him. He'll take them too. I had some guy attack me. Fucking less than 2 weeks later, he took my spot on an airplane and got eaten by sharks when it crashed in the fucking water. Man, I don't wish that shit on anybody. I'm trying to help, you know? Just a person. I'm just a man. I'm not claiming to be God, but I have heard what God has told us or trying to tell us. I don't hear voices, all right? Forget all that stupid shit. You people in your non believing asses. Science, huh? Okay. You know what? If science, this is disgusting. If science is science, then science should be have a stronger purpose of faith to save this damn planet and this place from ourselves because it's a freaking miracle set in the middle of absolutely no fucking where. Nowhere to how you can get to wherever it is you want to go. You can't get there from here. It's like it's too damn far away, right? Why even bother with it that much? If you want to, watch rocks and stuff, yeah, but like to go and leave, okay. I think you're kind of getting a little bit ahead of the game here, right? The only reason to leave this place is to like escape it because we've ruined it. And that's kind of what it's looking like. But the earth will recover. It always does. Bacteria will start, new bacteria will form that like to eat plastic or whatever, and they'll take care of it and they'll get it back to where it could be again and they'll just start all over. A Carrington event, an asteroid hit. That's how he does it. Nature, come and take care of things for him. The biggest tornado you've ever seen, and it's spinning so slow it looks like a galaxy, but it's a big black giant spinning whirling thing. We're just a speck of dust in there. If you can't look at the tornado and realize what you're here for, I don't know. Then I'm way ahead of the game because I know why I'm here. I know exactly why I'm here. I'm sick to my stomach over it. All right, so what do we got? We figured out Lot's wife, again, not his children. It actually, if you look up Sodom and Gomorrah, the names themselves mean like burning and something else, which is just referring to like, the city looked like a furnace. Remember, a furnace is just used to refine things. We have many instances of furnaces in scripture, right? The furnace of Daniel is the most important one. You know, the point of that story is that even if you disobey your king, even God, the Son of Man, then what? Winds up in the fire. But he's in there. But that's the purpose of the fire is to refine you. When it talks about the lake of fire, we're in the thing right now. This is the lake of fire. Jesus was trying to say, maybe expand upon Sodom and Gomorrah, where Sodom would have been like, a small place with like as a pot where people can be refined. Jesus just made the entire earth, the fallen world. This is the lake of fire. And how do you get thrown into it? By not following this. You literally create the fire. People are looking for too many literal things, like literal places with fire in it, and a God that gives you 60 years to correct something that he imperfectly made and threw out into the world as junk. It's not so. Nothing wrong with this place. Our God doesn't make mistakes. That's a mistake. That's a mistake to believe that. Well, I wouldn't say life is a big metaphor. Life is whatever you make it. It was given to you by God. What do you do with it? I'm saying that there's a structure to it, there's a pattern to it, and it literally appears in here. It's how prophets could look at what was going on and say, there's a pattern to it, there's a structure to it. That structure accounts for every single person on this planet. It's not, there isn't believers and non-believers and whatever. You can't look at it that way, because even if somebody doesn't believe, they still, how are they alive and moving, right? How can they be alive? They don't believe in God, but yet they're still, you know, they still breathe, all right? That person has the very same spirit in you as you have in you. Okay? The very same one. You're just looking at the other side of it. It's for or against. So if you separate yourself from your brother in that way, you're going to see them as evil and they don't count. You got the spirit of Cain, right? You got the spirit of Cain. You don't believe that your brother counts, though you're that different. Cain and Abel were completely different. As being firstborn of Adam, that would be like God and the devil being born from Adam, from a man, because God's spirit would have divided it. That's what this is. God's spirit gets divided. The Lord's spirit is demonstrated from two different angles. One of forming and making, light and peace, respectively, and the other from darkness and evil, creating. And if you see it as a battle, then you've literally pitted the Lord against himself, because everything is from the Lord. It's just he's got two different hands. He deals with, good sheep and bad sheep. It's not hard, man. It's such an easy. It's got two personalized, God got personified. Jesus, when he came as the Word, it's a sad thing that he picked to come in a body. It would have been better if this would have come walking along going, hi, I'm Jesus. You should do this. I know it says this, and you might have heard and read it that it says this, but this is what it really says, and then it would have been like, okay, the Word made flesh. But as soon as you took this and put it so much in this, Jesus ate this thing. He was translated, just like Enoch. He wasn't found. He was just only for the Father. That's all he could do, is work in here. His spirit, God had grabbed his spirit that way, and all he could do was what's in this book. Okay? And I'm not talking about killing. There's a lot of stuff in this book. There's lessons on things you shouldn't do, right? We miss them all. Because there's a war between good and evil, according to Christianity. If there's a war between good and evil in Christianity, we are the evil that he's at war with. We're the body that doesn't do what he wants. And if you start judging your brother, you failed. You're on the wrong team. If you can't look on somebody with compassion when they're suffering, dang it. If you can't look on somebody with compassion when they're suffering, ouch. You don't want to know when that happened to me first? I was 7 years old, I think, 8 years old, in Catholic school, and we had got in trouble, and the nurse wanted me, or not the nurse. Did I call the nurse? The nun. Jesus is a doctor. The nun would have been the nurse then, right? The nun, she's got me in the hallway, and I had made all right, I made a blood covenant with my other 8-year-old friends that we would not rat each other out. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Almost sounds like the Watchers. We agreed to do this terrible deed, right? And what we did was we egged the classroom windows. And it wasn't like it was my idea, but I was involved in it, right? Somebody decided to egg the classroom windows, and then we did. We pricked our fingers and we became blood brothers, and we promised we wouldn't yell at it. We wouldn't tell on each other, right? Well, guess what happens? They get busted. Somebody cracks. They spill the beans. I'm already implicated, but I don't care what that nun is telling me. I'm like, I don't care what I said. I already made my thing. I made my promise to my brothers, and they might have broke their promise, but I ain't breaking mine. And so she had me in the hall. I was 8 years old, and I had that little Italian mustache thing, that little, like your grandmothers might have, right? And she's in there with her fingernails, like getting in there. She could grab them with her fingernails, and she's going blink, blink, and she's plucking them out, and she's going blink, and I'm going ah, and my eyes are like just tearing up from her doing that. And finally, I just went lay off. She was bent over, and I pushed her on her shoulders, just like get away from me. I went. That's what I said. I went lay off, and I gave her a shove, and she was hunched over, so she couldn't stand up fast enough to catch herself. She planted right on her ass. And so then they kicked me out of out of that school, and my little sister. She didn't even do anything. My little sister wasn't even involved. She was in kindergarten, I think. So she's 3 years younger than me then. Is that it? That can't be right. It's got to be more than that. Must be 4 years then. Could be 4.5. She was born on one side of the year. I'm trying to guess how many age marks she's behind me by years, but yeah, we got kicked out, and then we had to move. The school that my mother had to send us to was, and I don't have anything against black people, but when racism and all that stuff was, people were being stupid in the early 70s. Yeah, you don't want your kids in the middle of that. So, there would things would erupt based off of color of skin in this country. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you people? And so my mom decided, we'll she just left this area and we went with our father down south, stepfather. And yeah, don't have to worry about anything down there. He joined the KKK with his brothers. And it's just crazy, man. I've had the most insane life ever. I've had the most insane life ever, but I've learned so much, and mostly about our God. And he's not happy. He's not pleased with this place, what we're doing here. I don't know why, but I got a bad feeling I'm going to be like Methuselah to you guys. When I'm gone, and all the shit's going to hit. Not from YouTube. I mean, when I die, same way for Methuselah. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have to literally be the guy who comes by. I'm just another guy. I look at it like that. The guy who comes through to teach you next time, I just look at it like that. This is just another something to do for God. It's like no different than being in the Marines and you're the general showing up and going, I got to send you on a special mission. It's like, yeah, sure. I'm a man just like Moses or Elijah or whatever. What the hell do you think he sends? He calls people to do his work. If you won't do it, he can't do it. Ugh. But it's like I feel like maybe I'm supposed to be a thief in the night, but I don't think that that's what the teachings are. I understand. I know they're not that. The purpose and the point behind a thief in the night is to say that God's working from both ways. If he can't, if he can't call you to give you more, he'll chase you and steal even whatever it is you got and give it to somebody else so he can make things work. Which is funny because If your father was evil in that respect and he takes it from you and gives it to somebody else, you think he's going to give it to somebody evil? No, he uses evil for good. So again, it just means everything's accounted for here. We don't get away with anything in this place, right? It looks big. It looks like you can dump garbage in the ocean, but you fill it up eventually, right? It looks like you got a lot of years to live and everything looks like it's fine, but then you start doing stupid stuff, shooting, bottle rockets at each other. And then guess what happens? Pretty soon a real fight breaks out. And now you don't know how to say, okay, just everybody go, oh, just stop. We're being stupid for fighting. That's how you make peace. You don't go negotiating, we won, you lost. No. You go, this is stupid. Look what we did here. How many people died? How many people's lives were disrupted? How many children can't sleep at night and may not for like maybe most of their lives because they wonder, is mom going to grab me by the hand, go dragging me off somewhere, trying to save me in the middle of the night while bombs are flying? Shit, man. But if that's the kind of person you want to go out for blood, he'll give it to you. He'll give it to you. All you want. Let me see if I can find another verse or two about where Jesus, where that gets flipped around. I mean, it's like his teachings were so solid, but they're Jewish. Even in Judaism, they have a book that describes Jesus. It's called the Tanya. And in that book, they talk of a man made of words, man made of the words of the Torah. What does that sound like? The word made flesh. It's the same thing. But once you can see what he was teaching, oh yeah, you're guaranteed to see him all through the Old Testament because he was just acting like he was doing what a Jew should do. They misunderstood when he was saying things like Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath. All he's saying is you have the choice whether you want to work or not. The Sabbath was made for man, right? He's saying it's up to you if you want to follow it. He's not saying you shouldn't follow it. He's saying it's up to you what you want to do. And he was also saying that the things that people were calling work on the Sabbath were like, he's like, God's always working. You don't take a break from life. so you can sit there and what? Stare at candles and speak words, pray to God? Wow. No. It's not what it's about. The whole resting from our works is because our works are evil, no matter what it is that we do. Okay? That's why we're supposed to keep holy the Sabbath day. What's the point of the Sabbath day? It was a rest between the things that were made and created. He rested from all he created and made and created. Those things. Look at those words. What is made? Peace. What is created? Darkness and evil. Made and created are not the same word in the Hebrew. You have to understand that. If you don't, you're going to cut God in half. And you're going to have a war between good and evil instead of saying, wow, how does he do both? This explains how. The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field. You are that field, okay? Which indeed is the least of all seeds. Now, interesting. He talks about sowing the mustard seed in the field, and I told you that you are, right? That you are the dirt, right? What about in God's kingdom? Aren't you also a seed? The least of these, right? Look at which indeed is the least of all seeds. Aren't you a seed? The seed of Abraham? Think of seeds of good and evil is what you have to do. Even Abraham, he was a father of a multitude. He's like, he represents, what's a multitude? All of it, good and evil. You got to pay attention to the names. If you don't, There's so much in here. I could go through I couldn't make it through this book in a lifetime from front to back trying to figure out how they move the names move with the stories so that you can see what's really going on. You can grab the idea of what you should do. And it's not even what's really going on. It's like there's two paths through this book. One is with peaceful, the other one is through fighting and strife. Yep. That was, well, Methuselah, his name kind of indicates that. After he's gone, then the flood hits. Which is indeed the least of all seeds, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among the herbs. Now remember, we're supposed to be the herbs of the field. Remember, there's a created story and then there's a formed and made story. When in the formed story, it says, before any plants of the field, that's talking about us being the plants of the field. So that's why there's one creation story, creation. What's created? Darkness and evil. What's formed and made? Light and peace. That's the garden. We are the plants. When the Lord hits, it's saying the Lord shows up and starts making us instead of just random plants or whatever. Organization, right? The Lord shows up. And that's when we appear. We were just dust in the created version. Male and female made them he. And our root name is Adama, which is dirt, and then Adam, and called their name, Adam. Adama and Adam. Adam. Male and female versions of the same word. And Adam, being male, it gets an AH added to it, which makes it feminine. But when you take the AH out of Adama, it makes it Adam. And then AH means brother. So if the brother goes into the ground like the blood, you get Adama, you get the woman, you get the female, defiled by a woman. If it comes out, it's a brother. The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven. See, beware the leaven of the Pharisees. So what is the leaven then? It's just talking about their teachings. Good teachings will make the kingdom grow. Leaven in a bread. And if it grows, it's like it'll grow by itself. That's what he meant by leaven. You don't even have to work at it. You just get it in there and it'll work its way through the whole thing. And it has. Our God is in everything, good, evil. There's nothing going on here that is not under his control. The leaven is here. You can't, if the leaven of the Pharisees would be how they see the world. The leaven of the Christians, how they see the world. They see a battle between good and evil, and they think it's okay to kill the Messiah. I'm Jewish. That ain't on my thing. We don't do that. If he wants to sacrifice himself, that's very noble and honorable. That can happen. But like to string him up to get rid of him, like that's going to save you, that's human sacrifice. It's very wrong. Okay? You can give your life, but a person is not to be treated for an animal. If he was a lamb, it's referring to his ability to obey the shepherd. Taking away the sins of the world, that's if you don't do them, you don't have them. They're not on you. You don't carry them, right? If you want to take away the sins of the world, don't sin. He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. Here, when he refers to the Son of Man, he's referring to you and I, but in service to God as a Son of Man. Son of perdition is the same exact person. It's just the Son of Man serving the devil instead of God. Okay? Simple. The field is the world. Okay? The good seed are the children of the kingdom. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. Now, does the devil actually have physical children like that? He doesn't. He doesn't. There's no physical children, giants, that baloney. No, forget about it. What makes that person a child of the devil is through your spirit. Remember, you're just dirt, land. It's your spirit that's inside of you that speaks of who your father is, even who you are. Okay? Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was cast into the sea. And that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind. That's all it says. It doesn't even say fish. Okay? I wonder if they add fish to this somewhere else, but it says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind. It's to say that everybody is under the authority of heaven. You know, heaven's authority being upon us, under us being, God having authority over us, Him reigning over us, that kind of thing. It's everybody, everybody. It's not to say that everybody's going to want to worship God, they're still serving. Man, I'm sorry. I don't mean to get lost. I can't believe this is so messed up. The only thing that makes me special is because somehow God decided I get to be the goofball that's going to try and wave my arms and show this to everybody. I really don't expect people to believe me or trust me or any of it. So what I really feel will happen eventually is my teachings will remain out here for a while, and after I'm gone, you guys will do like you do with everything else, but instead of having a book, you'll have a video to watch and somebody to talk to, and you'll go, "This is what he looked like, and this is what he said, and he was right. We should have not fought with each other." And yeah, you'll figure it out, man. It's like, uh, yeah, I just can see it, and I'm just the difference between me and anybody else is you have to want to see it. You can't look at like I'm special to God. I'm not. I'm just like you. I'm just dirt. I'm just dirt that happened to be, put in this position to do whatever. I don't know, man. I don't want to be no king. I don't want to be nobody special. I just want to show people what we've done wrong, and then we can figure it out from there. It's really bad. When it talks about mourning for a lost son, we never should have killed Jesus. That lost son is inside of you. It's a virgin birth because there's no sex involved. There's no sex for that son in you to be born to God. It's a decision. It's a decision. John being born of woman, Jesus isn't even talking about a physical woman. He's talking about this. A man being born of woman is like of lady wisdom, okay? miracle baloney. Even the Bible warns that, when somebody shows up doing miracles and whatever, I think they wrote it that way because he was the Messiah, and they don't want to teach this to everybody. Everybody shouldn't know what I'm trying to teach you because somebody would use it against you. Ah, I'm all stuffed up again. It's like inside me, I'm just crying, like just, I know you can't hear it. I'll see you guys later. Shalom. Shalom.